The results ramifications are very much the order of the weekend in the Guinness Pro 14, with 7 teams realistically still battling it out for the right to play in the end of season knockout series. Leinster, Glasgow and Munster already, of course, safely through. Leinster have, of course, the added advantage of a home semi-final, having already won Conference B, and that, of course, could work in Benetton's favour if complacency sets in tonight for the defending champions and Leo Cullen's men should fall below their customary high standards. Events in Glasgow last night mean that Benetton remained 4 points behind second place Ulster in Conference B, who were well beaten in the end, 30 points to 7 by the Warriors. 3 points further behind Benetton in fourth place are Edinburgh, and they're in action right now in West Wales away to the Scarlets. Benetton's last 3 matches of the regular season are Leinster, Munster and Zebra, and chances are they will need 2 wins to finish in the top 3 and complete what has already been a very, very promising season. And here come our Italian visitors. Perfect conditions for rugby tonight. A little on the chilly side, of course, for this time of year, but clear blue skies overhead. Kieran Crowley makes 8 changes from the side that started the defeat to Connacht 2 weeks ago down in Galway. 4 in the pack and 4 in the back line. Luca Bigi, Federico Russa, Sebastian Negri and Abraham Stain all return to the starting 15. Tommaso Allen, crucially, is back at fly half tonight, where he partners the South African Devolt Duvenega. Luca Marisi and Marco Zanon make up a new look midfield, and Jaden Hayward returns to that potent Benetton back 3. They have been exceptional all season long, and they will relish the opportunity to test themselves against the defending champions tonight. And here come the home side. After that Herculean effort in Europe last week, just up the road from here at the Aviva Stadium against Ulster. Leo Cullen, as expected, makes no fewer than 13 changes from the side, which showed all their experience and grit to get the better of Ulster in last weekend's European quarter-final. Scott Fardy is the only player retained in the pack. There is one late switch. Josh Murphy is a withdrawal at number 6, so Max Deegan will wear number 6 instead. Scott Penny comes off the bench to play on the open side, and the back row cover on the bench tonight is Ed Byrne. Noel Reid, by the way, starting at 10 tonight for Leinster, alongside the captain for the evening, Luke McGrath. Not our match referee needs little introduction. Nigel Owens in charge of affairs tonight. Good to see James Lowe back in the starting team for Leinster as well. He always brings that little bit of X factor, and here he is to get his hands on the ball from that Benetton kickoff. Tricky one for Hayward, who's back into that back 3 tonight, as I mentioned, and he brings with him vast experience at 32 years of age with 17 caps for Italy, and that strong play by another coming back into the side. There's lots of ballast in that back row with the likes of Sebastian Negri, and they're straight on to the attack here. Kieran Crowley's Benetton, beaten a couple of weeks ago by Connacht down in Galway. That was their first defeat, though, in 10 matches. They've been in excellent form. First defeat in this competition for 4.5 months, and some defensive retreating duties for Leinster and Luke McGrath to do, and an opportunity for me to say good evening to the man alongside me at the RDS tonight, Liam Tolan.
Connor, I think you're spot on when you reflect on the strong side that Kieran Crowley, the New Zealand coach, has picked for Benetton. That's extremely strong. I think it's probably the strongest in a number of weeks, and they've had some great and very strong, impressive results. I think this is going to be a huge ask for Leinster tonight. I'm really looking forward to it, and it'll be interesting to see how they employ their bench full of props as well.
A little bit loose from Tommaso Allen into Marco Zanon, player who was capped for the first time by the Azzurri and Conor O'Shea during the Six Nations in the home game against France.
Rock! Stay, go back, stay!
Duvenega.
Okay.
Hangs one up into the night sky, illuminated now by the floodlights, but plenty of natural daylight as we tick into April, back into the business end of the season. Round 19, and so much still at stake for
reload, Blue, reload.
half a dozen sides. Really, every game has huge ramifications. Here's Joe Tomani, 7th start of the season, 10 appearances for the 17 times capped Wallaby centre.
Still in the hands,
to find his best rugby, I think it's fair to say. That was a really good pick-up by James Tracy, already up to the half a dozen phases, and here we go with Max Deegan. It would have been very interesting with all the injuries on the open side for Leinster to see him wear the number 7 shirt. As it is, needs must. He moves across to play on the blind side from open side. No Josh Murphy. Scott Penny in.
Good.
And Noel Reid at number 10. A rare opportunity for him in that position. He made his debut there back in 2011 against Aironi, another of the Italians. Joe Smith gave him his debut at fly half. By my reckoning, he's only played there 3 times since then.
Release,
Barry Daly
Green, move!
hasn't played a lot of rugby at fullback either. He was employed at number
Tackle,
15
move, release!
back in February against the Kings at fullback. Now Tracy. Good continuity here, 3 minutes in from the home side, settling into their rhythms. And up to the 10-metre line.
Let it go now. You only had one on the ball, play on. Move, Green!
Mick Carney and Scott Fardy in the engine room. Mick Carney off the bench to win his 50th cap for Leinster last week in the European quarter-final. He was exceptional for the last 20 minutes.
Release!
Andrew Porter, it's he and Jack McGrath bookend in the Leinster front row tonight. Here's the captain, Luke McGrath.
On 21 phases now, Conor, and still the continuity builds, but still you've got to give it to the visitors. Their defensive line has stayed pretty strong.
Noel Reid just testing. Thought he spotted a little bit of a gap, and that's been knocked forward by James Tracy.
You've got to give huge credit to both sides. One in Leinster building up 23 phases to get to that point. Some skills, I think the Leinster hooker caught a ball off his feet, and not only was he happy to catch it, he popped it out the back door. That seemed like about 20 phases ago. But he's offering a little bit of variety. But you've got to give the green shirts of Benetton credit as well. They've conceded yardage, yes, but they've held their defensive line very, very well. And that's going to be very difficult for Leinster to see how they can break through this much more solid defensive green wall that there has been in the earlier seasons for Benetton.
There's a little bit of running repairs required too. One of the Benetton players took a bang to the face. A little bit of claret spilled. Yeah, they've been very, very good this season.
No, that's why I
had
didn't
that
think like, did I
cutting edge and
that's your answer.
ability in attack, and they've bolstered it this season with greater adherence to structures, I think it's fair to say. And there'll be a good test for Leo Cullen and Felipe Contepomi's side tonight.
Well, in many ways, the Italian sides have been the story of the Guinness this season.
Tackler was clean the other side of the ball. The ball was available.
On the wrong end of the table has been wonderful to watch, and Benetton are in the right end of the table. And if certainly if results go their way in the next couple of weeks,
to the side looking for the penalty into the
they
tackler,
won't be finished come playoff stage.
Slow your all ball down, I'll be playing on. Okay, thank you. If the tackler's in the way, rest assured I will move it. Okay.
That's Nigel Owens. You can hear on the referee's mic just having a chat with Jack McGrath and James Tracy ahead of this first scrummage of the evening.
Talk about Jack McGrath and his move northwards. Obviously his move himself and Leo Cullen must have discussed long and hard, because a player of that quality with that amount of medals and accomplishments, he can really dictate where he wants to go. Then there was the question mark, would Leinster use him by the end of the season? In other words, in the knowledge he's going, I think it would be silly not to maximise his use. And he's earned the right, hasn't he? He's put in some shift of a career. He's earned the right to play it out in style and fight for the number 1 slot of blue jersey until it's no longer his when he goes up to Ulster.
Good height.
His debut for this province in 2010. He's since won 54 caps for Ireland, restricted to 1
fully bound, okay?
replacement off the bench against Italy in the Six Nations just passed, but 3 Lions tests to his credit as well. Jack McGrath.
Bind. Set. Hold it there. Hold it there.
So Sebastian
Hold it there, lads. Keep it up. Keep it up.
Off.
And he was then. Hughes.
Duveneke. Good solid challenge from Conor O'Brien to stop Hayward.
Well, Hayward didn't do a whole lot. He just kind of simply ran at him, didn't he?
Stay behind.
Not the right player to be running at. We've seen a lot of physical performances from O'Brien this season.
All onside.
A little bit of indecision there from Barry Daly. covering across to good effect was Fergus McFadden.
Interesting shot selection from Hayward, the fullback. He spotted the green grass. It was a cheap enough turnover, but he put so much air in it, he gave McFadden plenty of time to get across and field it.
Right. 10.
It's a beautiful
Doesn't
night
matter if he goes back, it's 10 from the mark.
There's a little bit of dew landing on the grass, so he's going to skirt along, and if you do find green grass.
James Lowe. We've only seen him a couple of times since that game against Munster at Thomond Park, where he was red carded. And they're going to struggle here, Benetton, such as the numbers of Leinster players in and around there. That was always going to be Leinster ball, and really it was Commander-in-Chief in there. It was James Lowe initially, and then he's got plenty of big units around him to help him, Scott Fardy in particular.
He's hungry, isn't he, tonight? He's obviously starting in the left wing, and all that was happening in the right wing, so he moved himself across, chased his own kick, and then the bear hug.
He's taken down by
Green. It a choke tackle, this is more of a bear hug.
No offence.
There's no way of getting out quick, and Scott Fardy jumps in. There's no way of getting your knee down there.
Maul has to be formed immediately.
Difficult enough when you're on terra firma, but when you're 2 feet in the air, James Lowe has a grip on you.
And then Andrew Porter coming in.
Don't go too far now.
Quite a lot of muscle after arriving.
Very good last
so
scrum.
no chance.
Stay the same on this one,
significant kgs.
There's the bones of 30 kgs and the difference between the packs.
Yep.
6.5 stone or so.
Not insignificant.
Crouch. Bind.
James Lowe, for all his talent, and
set.
He's only made 12 starts this season.
Keep it up, lads. Keep it bind up. Good. Leg strong. Stay there, 9.
Really interesting to see how selection goes for that Toulouse game.
Please.
Yeah, they may well require a little bit of X factor and line-breaking prowess.
He's onside. Play on. Tackle. Release. Tackle.
Different kind of problem posed by Andrew Porter there. Lots of ballast and physical running. McGrath to Reid now. O'Brien.
Tackle, lads.
McGrath again. And here's Porter.
Advantage.
Well, your reference maybe just with the dropping temperatures dropping rapidly here, and that evening dew on the grass and the ball a little bit slippy. 1 or 2 handling errors inside the opening 7 minutes.
Okay, lads.
Like, there's an awful lot of change of tactics from Leinster. They're going out the back, they're taking it narrow. They're asking a lot of questions of Benetton, but that's the thing, Benetton, their defensive system has improved so much. It's going to take a long time before Leinster break through that green wall.
By blue, yeah? Height, better by.
Conceded 47 tries this season, scored 53. When you consider that Leinster, with their
mark, please, lads.
defensive structure, have conceded 39, it's not bad at all.
Okay.
The problem has been winning on the road. Just 3 away wins in 12 in all competitions this season. But as we said at the top of the commentary, they were, of course, the last side to win here. Around this time last year, when they took advantage of what was a sluggish performance from Leinster. They were good value for their victory. And that was only Leinster's second home defeat in 38 games, and Benetton's first ever in Dublin. Duvernay now.
Great read from McFadden again. As soon as the scrum half shaped it all, McFadden was back feeling to feel that easy.
Yeah, straight into reverse, and he made up 10 metres to be right in the correct spot there.
There's nothing in that. Play on.
James Lowe is looking to do just that, and he's just put a little bit too much on his kick.
I think he collided with it looked like Carney the second. It looked like Carney did nothing wrong. He didn't change his line, didn't change his angle.
Get the mark from the straight out. Yeah, cheers.
Tuviara's had a great season. Monty Awani on the other side. We talk a lot about this Benetton back 3, and they've been very, very good.
We see it here now.
It's Fardy, is it?
It's Fardy, yeah.
The wrong side, stood his ground, couldn't do anything. Not a problem.
He protected himself from the hit, that's all he did. Nothing wrong.
Well, they'll be alive to his threat. He's made 19 clean breaks and he's beaten 36 defenders this season.
Just we'll check in. Thank you.
If you go down through the season statistics, there's a couple of Benetton players that are in the top 5 throughout the statistics.
Number 6, Sebastian Negri, returning to the field of play.
And straight back in and straight back involved in the action, Sebastian Negri, having been patched up.
On the chest and on the ball, not high, on the chest and on the ball.
Back on the bench.
Come on, Leinster!
Juvenega. Tommaso Allen gets his side moving again. Good ball presentation, and it's quicker ball for the half-back pairing. Out into midfield to Zanon.
No! Can't play the 9, ball was not off the ground. Advantage penalty.
Penalty coming here.
Mark me back to this penalty win, please.
It's been a very composed start this from Benetton, having soaked up that one passage of play where Leinster rather went through the phases.
Okay,
back to go for the penalty.
No advantage, lads. Back for the penalty. Taking the 9.
It's fascinating. Both sides are building up a huge amount of phases each time they're in possession. But it's going a little lateral over left and right, and there's no real line break or threat line break. The defence on both sides is so strong. Looking at place kicking, I was watching Fergus McFadden before. I assume he is the nominated place kicker when Leinster get their opportunity, but he was warming up, and that makes his presence here on top of his general play anyway, and a couple of really good reads of kicking from Benetton, but his place kicking, I imagine, will become important as well.
You go back 4 or 5 seasons. I mean, it's 11 years since Fergus McFadden made his Leinster debut. There was a couple of seasons 4 or 5 years ago where he was a prolific goal kicker, and that's why he's got 429 points on the Leinster ledger down the years.
Some crucial tries in there too, obviously.
26 of them, in fact. And that was a good take by the man who scored one of the tries here last year, Federico Russa.
Don't break the bind. Now you go. Now you go.
Too dissimilar to this.
It's a tackle. It's a tackle.
Tracy's in there. And they're poised and waiting here. There's another penalty coming.
Ruck formed. Ruck not over.
I think.
Second man.
I think Nigel Owens has been nice and.
Ruck was formed.
Patient not to go for more than
still in. Not clearly out.
Considering the field position. Superb line-out defence from Leinster. It was a maul well set up by Benetton. They got a good long maul, a good shape to it, but just the technique of Leinster just dismantling it. They literally did that, dismantled it. Now, Tracy did okay, he went over it, but it's the next man in.
Well, they're going to have to use that defensive prowess again. Really good take, one-handed, on the reach.
Once.
And it's in the arms of Luca Bigi, another man who scored a try from this almost identical position last year in that corner, if memory serves. And Bigi's away, and he's done it again! And Benetton strike off the line out through their hooker Luca Bigi. And those that have made the trip to Dublin to support their team, who are in the push for the playoffs, salute the try, and there's a real sense of deja vu about that. That is almost exactly what he did this time last year.
Well, look at the numbers on the back of some of the jerseys there. There's this outside centre Zanon coming in, so it was far more than just the orthodox. They got it set up, but this time Leinster just couldn't dismantle it. They tried to rotate it infield, but great patience.
Bring the guy down with you, okay? Go for the ball.
Not to panic and wait for that open opportunity to come in, and as you said, over he went.
And that is the gauntlet well and truly thrown down to Leinster here, 13 minutes in. And it's his 3rd try of the season. On his return to the side, he hasn't started since around the Christmas period. He's made a big impact here. And the conversion attempt is good. Up go the flags. And it is a great start to this game for Benetton Rugby. 14 minutes in, they lead the defending champions Leinster by 7 points to 0. And that's got the crowd here at the RDS very, very interested in this. They're trying to lift their team already. Halafihi wearing number 8, the New Zealander.
Take him back.
Dufanaka. Barry Daly's come from a long way. It's gone forward off a Benetton hand. Daly couldn't quite get to the pitch. He was good under the high ball when he played in at fullback in that game in February that I spoke about.
We take that skill for granted, don't we? Because we see such quality players like Rob Kearney just gobbling up those opportunities. It's a difficult skill.
When you hit the deck, you cannot then keep moving another couple of rolls on the floor, okay? No issues there because it didn't affect play at all. But once you hit the deck, either leave the ball and get up, or stay where you are. Time out.
It's a cracking attacking position for Leinster.
Just some attention for Noel Reid.
Time off, time. There's two occasions now you hit the deck,
applied to his hand,
and then your player is rolling a couple extra again. Now, in the two instances this happened, there's been nobody there to contest the ball. But if it happens again, I will penalise it, okay?
He seems okay. He started at number 10 against the Southern Kings in November. Okay. I think you've got to go all the way back to 2013 for a game against the Scarlets for the last time he started at number 10.
Let's go here, let's go! Are we, everybody happy with the scrums, boys? Yeah, good, let's keep it going then, please, okay?
No Johnny Sexton. Ross Byrne, of course, dead leg and a little bit of an issue with his foot last week after the Ulster game.
Bind.
Looks like Leinster have an interesting backline.
Time on. Crouch.
Bind. And James Lowe out
set.
The far left hand side.
Hold it there, keep it up, bind up, good. Keep the height, lads, keep the height. And use.
Keelan Doris protecting it at the base at number 8 tonight for Leinster. And here they go with Daly, and he's through a pretty big hole. He's got two options to his left. He's going to the right instead. But he makes good progress up into that Benetton 22. Now, can they pull the trigger here? First real sight of that tackle 22 move in the try line into the red zone, as it were, for Leinster here. Doris again involved.
Release.
McGrath quickly to the base of that ruck, and they get it away to Mick Carney.
Advantage offside.
And it's an offside penalty coming here for Leinster. Can they take full advantage? Reid will dink one through. Fergus McFadden's off in chase. It's all on the points. Back we go for the penalty.
No advantage, offside.
Well, looking at the scrum attack, Conor, it was an unusual setup. They had Tomani as the number 12 first centre out beside James Lowe, and it was all a decoy. Lads. He ran a quality line back towards the scrum. He fixed some of the Benetton inside defenders, and who was to pop up with the Leinster fullback Daly and get a clean run through, and he gained about 15-20 metres. So you might see in the monitor here, see the coming in, a little bit of a clash of shoulders, but it gave a bit of space for Daly to come flying through. A great example of, although you're not getting the ball, you can contribute hugely to the attack.
I'll keep an eye out, don't worry.
So shot at goal is the call, and it's going to be Noel Reid. And he adds to his 30 points already this season. 3 more in the bag, and Leinster, having played 17.5 minutes, have got themselves on the scoreboard. 4-point advantage now for Benetton, thanks to that early try from Luca Bigi. Home side though off and running.
And I think Benetton will be disappointed because they survived the great little attack from Leinster there with Daly coming through. They got a really good shape in their defensive line, but they just creeped up offside and gave Nigel Owens no choice but to concede the penalty. Easy one and a good start for Leinster and Noel Reid.
Good.
Tommaso Allen high and long into that Leinster 22. And off the left boot of Conor O'Brien. He's had a terrific season. He and Scott Penny probably the two that have come through that have put their hands up most of that touch of young players, the likes of Paddy Patterson and Gavin Mullen, Oisin Darling. Jimmy O'Brien's on the bench tonight, Will Connors too.
Slowed it down, wrong side.
There's another penalty here, that's against Keelan Doris for slowing the ball down. Dufanega, he spotted a little gap.
No advantage, tackler. Wrong side, you slow it down, please.
Well, the line-out that Benetton just used there is the exact
tackler,
same.
He's on the wrong side, and he slowed the quick ball down.
Line-out that Ireland used against France.
Could have moved sideways, chose to roll into
this
the ninth
time
path.
It was the right wing,
number 8,
Tavuyara, and he went in to look as a decoy, but the ball carrier actually went outside to number 12, Morisi. What has Keith Earls and that line-out done? All the other teams are gobbling it up. They're now using it. But a slightly interesting variation on that play where the ball carrier going round the corner, feigned to pop it back inside as if it was Keith Earls, but in this case it was the Benetton winger and went outside. It's amazing how quickly teams adapt and learn and rob and
add their own little variations of the same. Well, we were down in Cork last night where the wind was swirling around Irish Independent Park for Munster against the Cardiff Blues. There's barely a puff of breeze tonight in Dublin 4. He struck that pretty well. No issues whatsoever for Tommaso Allen. And Benetton lead by 10 points to 3. We've played 20 minutes already. Opening quarter has gone by.
It's hard to argue with that. There's been 4 penalties conceded, 3 from Leinster and 1 from Benetton. Interestingly, all 4 were conceded inside their own half. So when the pressure's going up, the penalties are conceded.
And there has been plenty of pressure from Benetton. They've been good value so far.
Halafi has been excellent value.
There's lots of experience.
Backwards, always backwards, always backwards.
Played in France with Lyon as well. Boot the ball this time, and Daly and Lowe there. Now can James Lowe find a little chink in the armour? Barry Daly certainly can. He went quickly through the gears, and it's a good offload too, and Leinster up over halfway.
Play on, tackle,
a little bit more impetus about this attack as it's taken on by Max Deegan. Andrew Porter. McGrath. Reid back on the inside to Mick Carney. McGrath again, and Daly's cutting some very nice lines.
Off your feet.
Hungry for work. And here goes O'Brien. Tamani on the outside. Kicks one in field. There's a really good chase on here.
Advantage if you want. Okay.
Well, that was a good idea from Tamani.
No.
Luke McGrath was there. Got his hands to it. He's knocked it forward.
Well, if you remember back to the Philippe Saint-André try in Twickenham when France attacked from inside their own try line, the ultimate kick came from France.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because it's a knock on.
And that's where the score came.
I can't do the option, I'm afraid.
He knew he was going to be bundled into touch, so he kept the ball alive and gave an opportunity to a couple of blue jerseys coming through. A word on Barry Daly though. He went in, that's the second high ball he went into field. This time he kind of half fumbled it, went down to deck, it was turned over. And the immediate reaction from Benetton was to kick it back. But the work rate from Daly was he got up off that ruck and he was back with James Lowe contesting. He worked his socks off, he sprinted back from that ruck, and he provided 2 great attacking plays off that as well. Great work ethic.
When you're defending, just give me 1 step behind. Okay, you're very tight on the outside. Ruck, do the ruck.
Generous
ruck,
comparison,
ball,
by the way. Generous. Saint-André
you're
to Joe
tight
Tamani tonight.
You know the try.
I do indeed, yeah. I think it, yeah. I think they started behind their own try line now, didn't they?
Yeah, but the same outcome.
Yeah.
As you were about to be bundled into touch, whether it's the RDS or Twickenham, keep the ball alive. It was really good play from Timoni.
It felt like at that time France scored a try like that every second week.
Come back.
Whether it was Castaner, Philippe Sella, Serge Blanco.
Hang on, you're HA. You got the man on, or is he?
Very interesting opening 22 minutes here, and Kieran Crowley will be very pleased with how higher side have acquitted themselves. As I mentioned, home to Munster and then away to Zebre.
Like you mentioned Munster a couple of times. We were obviously there last night. I don't know, do we recognise the brilliant management, organisation of the resources, considering the game in Edinburgh and managing that now? Leinster have a very different bench than Munster had
Shoulders out,
yesterday.
please.
Yeah, they're going to have to use it a lot earlier than they would have hoped. And that's by no means a disrespect to Kieran Crowley, who's been excellent this season, but they've lost Noel Reid.
Bind! Set! Hold it there, keep it up,
hold it there, injury.
Keep it up.
Clearly wasn't happy. So they've got Ed Byrne as the back row cover on the bench. They've got Kieran Crowley in there now. Noel Reid goes off, and
that was a super scrum from Benetton. It was an 8-man Leinster scrum against essentially 6 Benetton players, because the hooker was striking and the number 8 was actually almost detached. So 6 men and a 30 kg differential. That's Daly. He's popping up all over the place. All based on a huge work rate.
So James Tracy.
Right.
Well won by Deegan. Well, they've
down by blue, play on, down by blue.
Plenty of intent. O'Brien.
Advantage, jump to the gun.
Swallowed up by Herbst. McGrath thought he spotted a little bit of a gap, got the feet moving, tried to catch out that Benetton rearguard, taken on with impetus by Porter, and now Tracy as well. Mick Carney is in there too. McGrath digs it out, looks to his right hand side to Frawley and Tamani and McFadden. Scott Fardy waits, and here they come again with Keelan Doris. Carney only gets it away to Penny, and he knocks it on to Deegan.
No, advantage is not over there, lads. You're offside here, Green.
Like the television screens.
All the back line, you're jumping a bit too early before the ball is out.
The television screens show a perfectly crisp evening, but I think there is a heavy dew coming down and the ball is beginning to spill. So I think Leinster need to adjust a little bit, that offloading one arm out through the tackle. It's a bit more risky.
A shot at goal will be the outcome for Kieran Frawley.
So see Penny here in the middle of the tackle trying to offload. I just think the ball is a little slippy. So it's the exact same penalty again Benetton are given. So now that's 3 for Leinster and 2, all of which respectively have been in their own halves.
How are we looking, boys?
Angle and distance are relatively straightforward. The only potential fly in the ointment is that Kieran Frawley's only just come into the game. But it should be fairly straightforward for somebody who's been fairly metronomic, it must be said, off the kicking tee this season. And it is 3 more points for Leinster. 10 points to 6, 25 minutes have elapsed at the RDS.
Leinster 6, Benetton 10.
Behind then.
Curiously, they've had maybe 4 or 5 now incisions into that 22, and yes, the indiscipline has been a factor for Benetton, but they've not really found any massive holes in the Benetton defence. They've just 2 penalties to show for their efforts. I think you're absolutely right about the conditions, Liam, by the way. Abraham Stein. Clear out work from Benetton is good, and the hands from Duveneg, and then it pops back out to Tommaso Allen. Hayward, Allen again, and he's kicked one through.
He's lovely to watch, isn't he? He's taking the ball flat every time, and to see an hour and a half getting on the ball twice in the same play is always very, very positive. He keeps picking the ball right at the gain line, and then he chases inside.
Off the blue foot.
And a lovely little finish. Knows that he's probably going to die in the trenches, and he says, no, I'm going to make the pressure on Leinster. Let them try and figure a way out of their 22. Good, clever play.
He's still only 25, Tommaso Allen, capped 48 times now by Italy.
Blue ball.
Scottish father. His uncle was capped by Scotland and the Springboks.
It's off the floor, so you battle for it. It's a maul.
Is that going to come back? The answer is no.
Lads, the maul was formed. Ball, turnover, green ball.
No, this is interesting because, as I was saying, when Benetton were defending their own line, it was essentially a 6-man scrum against an 8-man scrum. And they're 30 kgs lighter.
Still in the line out 15.
And with a number 8 of the ball carrying skills of Hala Fihi, a solid scrum off the base in that position is a great place for the 8 just to pick. But they've enough of a blind side to go down that way as well, so they have options. Interesting to see what Leinster do down to disrupt that.
Yeah, you put your foot on the line and we're perfect.
Monty on that side. Scored plenty of tries this season. 4 in this competition, and he's got Fergus McFadden keeping a close eye on him over there if they choose to go that way.
And Frawley is staying on the open side, so it's a lonely spot for McFadden. He's a lot of ground to cover.
Set! Hold it there, keep it up.
McGrath to work really hard on his inside if they go down the blind.
Yep.
So Max Deegan and McGrath need to form a wedge inside to make sure if they do go left. Because Ione is one thing
both of you get your binding higher and height better.
Make a defender look a bit silly.
Well, we've seen when the shoe's on the other foot, that's very much the go-to play when James Lowe is over there. Even if they put 2 out there, they still back him.
When they're up, bind please before I call the set. Shoulders in.
What do you want?
And you've got, like, as well, the Benetton 10, Alan is slotting in the neutral position, so he can add. So this could be a backdoor move going down the blind side.
Set! Hold it there! Keep it up! Hold it there! Keep it up, lads! Keep it up!
And instead they go from the base with that man Halafihi. Duvenega again taking on at pace, so almost on the stretch was Federico Rusa. There again for Benetton now. That's a really good delivery. Dive for the line, but he was just forced back by Barry Daly.
Go back, step back!
Leinster very much on the defensive here. Benetton very close.
Offside, foot in front of the line.
There's another penalty coming here. Can they get the ball down? They're over that try line.
Offside. Feet in front of the line.
Very close to a second try. Leinster scrambling all over the place there just to deal with that Benetton threat.
Great defence from Leinster, but a wonderful little show and go. Benetton setting up as if they're going down the blind side, all the while to set up and give the advantage to the number 8. Lovely play, and a great defence as well from Leinster. Like the letter law, not only do your feet have to be behind that line, your hands have to be as well. And you often see in the modern defensive pillar and A and B post position, whatever you want to call them, the feet might be in the onside position, but the hands are way off in the offside position. That also has to be
so you keep the space as well, okay?
So penalty and they elect for a scrum.
Height good. Crouch.
Same problem faced by Leinster now, just on the other side.
Hold it there, hold it there.
Tavayara poised against James Lowe and Tremonti. And here they go again. Scott Penny forced to make the tackle. And they're right on 5 metres now and coming through with great impetus and appetite and no lack of physicality. Leinster scrambling across just for a second of his numbers there. Duvenega. And he goes to Sebastian Negri, and he gets helped out by Abraham Steen.
Stay down!
2 loose forwards piling in on that Leinster line. Half an hour gone. Benetton leading by 10 points to 6 and coming seeking a second try here. Leinster know they can't infringe again from this kind of range or risk the wrath of Nigel Owens. Something more than a penalty potentially, given the pressure they're under.
But they're carrying one man themselves. Benetton has to latch on to give more support to that ball carrier.
Stay out, back, step back.
A yard or two short. Rizzioni gets his hands on it. It's good, robust defence from Leinster. It's appreciated by the home support, but they need to keep going, making the tackles. Halafihi can't find a way through, and they're back out to 5-6 metres.
And the risk, the Benetton support players, the risk of banking over the ball and conceding a penalty, essentially.
Marco Rizzioni again. Dufaneka waits, and he goes to Rusa. Getting the ball away to Tommaso Allen. He was thumped in the challenge. Dufaneka again, and that's really good. James Tracy, like a bolt of lightning out of that defensive line, forced the turnover, forced the mistake, and we'll go back for the knock on. And that's really good, resilient defence from Leinster.
Never onside.
Tommaso Allen was offside.
Number 10. Offside.
Right, the Leinster defence did exceptionally well throughout, and each time the Benetton ball carrier, he was carrying on his own. They weren't latching onto him, so the ball was very, very vulnerable on the deck. I think O'Brien had no choice but just to battle it out. Again, that slippy ball in contact. Maybe there was an element of just drilling it down the tram tracks because there's no one at home.
It was Max Deegan, by the way, who made the impact in the challenge that dislodged the ball, not James Tracy.
That's a good turning point now for Leinster, for the home side. Benetton threw everything they had in some clever plays off the base of the scrum and asked lots of questions of Leinster, all of which were met by driving them backwards. Leinster go for a 5-1.
Scott Fardy is the option this time, and Tracy gets his hands on it.
Equally great line-up defensive maul initially from Benetton, but Leinster survive it. And they more than survive it, gain 15 metres.
Get a good shape on that
rolling
maul, and they're still progressing forward. Luke McGrath waits, but they've got right up over halfway. They've made some 25 metres there.
Taken down Blue this side, yeah, clearly down by Blue. Held up, no, they won't.
The ball didn't come back on the Leinster side though. So in the end it works out for Benetton.
Blue is down on my side, Blue needs to be down there. Time out.
But still it's a huge fill-up for Leinster. Have drilled, essentially, drilled every question back into the Benetton halfway line. They'll be pretty happy with that exit strategy. Lots of energy being spent by both sides.
Luca Bigi requiring some attention. The Benetton try scorer.
But it's a classic line-out play from Leinster. Again, conscious of what Benetton were throwing at them. They clearly made a decision. Okay, now we're just going to hold possession for the next few minutes. We're going to dominate. We're going to suck all the energy out of Benetton. We go to a line-out and maul it from inside our half. So there was never really going to be a chance they were going to maul it the whole way, obviously. But there's always a chance of just sucking up the clock and soaking up the energy of Benetton and just reminding them, look, we're in control of the ball now.
Well, they'll be hoping for a favour, if you want to call it that, in West Wales from the Scarlets against Edinburgh tonight as well. Scarlets by no means out of the conversation in terms of the playoffs, but Edinburgh a more immediate threat.
Okay. Pardon?
Leinster, Glasgow and Munster already through. Who will be joining them? Ulster, Benetton, Edinburgh, Scarlets, Connacht, Cardiff really in the conversation. 2 rounds of games remaining after this weekend.
Give me a good shoulder.
10-6 here.
Good hike, boys, please. Time on. Keep a space. Crouch. Bind. Set. Hold it there. Keep it up. Keep it up, lads. Keep it strong. Keep it strong. Stays.
Dufaneka feeds that Benetton scrummage. No way through for Tabiaro. Taken on instead by Sebastian Negri. Played 4 out of 5 Six Nations games in the tournament just gone by. Hayward, New Zealander, again makes a little bit of yardage. A little over 5 minutes to half time, and Benetton in the driving seat. Tommaso Allen to Rizzioli. Tackled by Ulster-born Jack McGrath, confirmed this week, of course. Tommaso Allen gets it away to Monty Ioane. Now can Allen find a little gap? No support runner on the shoulder on that occasion. He did manage to get his hands free, no offload forthcoming, and that's their game plan. They love those little situations. That's a little better. Now potentially space opening up. They're back up into that Leinster 22. They've spent a decent amount of time in this half, in this kind of position.
Play on, 50-50, play on.
Their try, in case you're just joining us, came off a set piece finished by Luca Bigi. And now they move it wide. They've got two on the outside. McFadden goes in with a full-blooded challenge. Clear out by Ioane. He did really well. Challenge again by McFadden. Benetton still preserve possession into double figures in terms of phase play. There's a Leinster player on it. Might be Mick Kearney, yeah.
And it looks like the attendant, the medicos have
lost now, lost now.
Further medical interventions. It looks like he'll be coming off.
No, you won it and then he played it back before he lost the fight. Stay out.
The intervention at the breakdown there coming from Leinster, and they've turned that over, and it's there for Luke McGrath. And it's another Benetton attack repelled successfully by this Leinster rear guard.
I suppose the danger for Leinster, some of the defending they're doing is almost last ditch. Allen is looking like he's getting more and more front foot ball, and when he gets that front foot ball, he's carrying the ball in two hands. He's asking questions of that last forward defender and getting through, and then the next recycle is coming very, very flat as well. Good play from Benetton, and so far super defence from Leinster, but the tackle count on both sides is adding up. Leinster heading towards triple figures now on about 89 tackles.
You know, just you just take your time and you tell me when everything is good, okay? Take your time. Good luck.
There's considerable concern, unfortunately, here for Mick Kearney. Turned 28 last week and capped a good week for him by winning his 50th cap, coming off the bench in Europe for the first time.
Yeah, he actually went on in, right?
He doesn't look in good shape here, unfortunately.
Well, as soon as the medicos came on the pitch, they put up the old signal to get the stretcher out.
He's been absolutely tremendous this season, particularly in this competition, alongside Ross Maloney in that second row. The two of them have been exceptional.
And you were entitled to place it, which is fine, not a problem. The one before, you lost the rights to it, you didn't get it.
I just wonder about the dynamic of the remaining three fixtures facing these Benetton lads.
Can we shout louder? Yeah, okay.
Because when they play Munster, Munster may potentially at home, where as I said they've won 10 of 12 games, Munster will have one eye on what's a massive game, a European semi-final the following week away against Saracens in their Ricoh Arena. Munster already through, already guaranteed of course a home quarter final, if not better, and then you'd fancy them to win the Italian derby away to Zebra in round 21.
We're just sorry there, Conor, to interrupt you, but it looks like his left shoulder. It looks like an upper body shoulder type of contact. There's no other contact at all. So he's on his feet now. Great to see him walking off.
Yeah, so no stretcher required. And let's hope that's nothing too serious.
Wait a minute,
beset by injuries, haven't they, of late, Leinster?
It's amazing where once the fountain of rugby talent was relentless.
Replacing for Leinster, number 19, Jack Dunn, replacing the injured Mick Kearney.
So we've got 20-year-old Kieran Frawley who's in for Noel Reid, and now we've got 20-year-old Jack Dunn into the second row. Meantime, we've got the Italians once again in premium attacking position. Ball in the care of their try scorer, Luca Bigi.
Hughes! Next up, Ed Hughes.
Duvenega waits. What can they manufacture here? They look to Luca Morisi.
It's a tackle! It's a tackle!
Duvenega again, and he gets his pass away to Stein, and he makes good ground, and this is very promising. They're funneling forward in good numbers. Herbst. tackle again by Keelan Doris, taken on by Stain.
But each time they're being double teamed, so they're inching their way backwards, which is great defence from Leinster.
Going to take something a little bit special to open up this defence, and we know that this man's got plenty in his locker. No way through on that occasion for Taviara. Duvenega again ripped the ball clear and fired his pass away, trying to inject a little bit of impetus. Herbst brought to ground. Duvenega again, straight in front of the post, and they're calling for extra cover over on that far side. Tommaso Allen waits. He's barking the orders at his scrum half.
It wouldn't be against the run of play if Allen actually elected to go for 3 points from a drop kick.
For the meantime, they give it to Sebastian Negri, who's been impactful. So
no tackle, went to ground himself.
Now Morisi, can he find a way through? Tested the shoulder of Tamani, who was equal to it. Duvenega waits, and 13 phases have elapsed. 2 minutes of the half remain. Benetton lead by 4. Can they add to their 1 try? Leinster restricted to 2 penalties. And they're up to 5 metres. They've got to find a cutting edge. They need to be a little bit more ruthless and efficient with the ball here in these kind of situations. They've had plenty of opportunities. Heading towards 20 phases. There's a penalty coming.
I can't reward. Wait, no.
And they can't go quickly.
I can't reward you because the tackler's on the wrong side, prevent any clear out, okay? So I can't reward the player on his feet.
Because my initial reaction, I thought it was a great Leinster steal.
Tackler prevented a clear out and prevented him from placing the ball anywhere away. So can't reward the guy on his feet. Tackler was on the wrong side.
And Nigel Owens explains exactly why he agreed that the steal was legal.
Time off.
But the bit in between wasn't.
No,
this does Benetton a great favour, because I think they were going to eventually run out of options and attacking players, and maybe the attack would peter away. I think they should slip into the mode of keep building the scoreboard.
You're going to go with the coach.
Yeah, he's going to.
Nigel Owens has done him that favour, so I assume he's going to kick for the 3 points just before half time. It's what they should have looked for in the first place in many ways, because the Leinster defence, to be fair to it, I know it's conceded 1 try, but that was off line-out ball. In the main, everything Benetton have thrown at them defensively has been met with a double team and knocking them back.
With the ball and prevented any potential clear out, okay? But you were fine apart from that.
62% of the possession over the course of these 39 minutes. I think a shot at goal has been indicated, so that's probably wise.
Yeah, put the time on. You tell me when you're ready.
And even in that phase, the last time I mentioned tackles, it was 89. Now it's 113 tackles from Leinster to 72 for Benetton. That shows you the dominance of Benetton in terms of possession and just getting them to clock up the tackles. That takes energy.
Kick it before 40-20, that's all. You won't go over a minute. Yeah, 40-20. That's the minute.
Yeah, and they've gone to the bench twice. Injury enforced. And it looks for all the money in the world as though Benetton will go in 7 points in front.
We've got 30 seconds left now, okay?
See what he's doing? He's burning. He's burning American football style or NFL style. Burning the clock, and he'll slot it then.
So Tommaso Allen does the necessary. Adds an extra 3 points, and as the clock goes red in 40 minutes, Nigel Owens signals the end of the half, and a very good half indeed from Benetton, where they've had 60% plus possession, and while they lead by 13 points to 6, they probably feel they might even been further in front, but the Italians in the box seat at the RDS, they're looking for back-to-back wins here, remember, in the Pro 14. It's Leinster 6, Benetton 13.
The 2019 Guinness Pro 14 final will be held at Celtic Park in Glasgow on Saturday, the 25th of May. Don't miss out on a great weekend in Glasgow. Back your team now and visit pro14rugby.org for more information and, of course, to buy your tickets. Show off your knowledge of the teams across the championship by joining the official Guinness Pro 14 Fantasy Rugby game by signing up on pro14rugby.org and win great prizes playing against your friends and fans of other clubs as well. No matter where you are, make sure you follow the Guinness Pro 14's official Instagram, Facebook, Twitter and YouTube accounts to gain access to exclusive content, news and competitions throughout the season. Guinness Pro 14 want to thank our title sponsor Guinness, our partners Gilbert Rugby, Sportpesa and Macron, and today's host broadcaster TG Canner for their continued support. Sportpesa is the proud gaming partner of the Guinness Pro 14. Whether it's scoring the winning try or playing online, you should take every opportunity and make it count. Air Sport, proud broadcast partner of the Guinness Pro 14 and home of rugby in Ireland. With 152 Pro 14 games per season, Air, let's make possible. Guinness is the official drinking partner of the Guinness Pro 14. Please enjoy the game responsibly. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, a big shout out to our 2019 Senior School Top 15 team who are with us here tonight. Congratulations on being picked on the Bank of Ireland Irish Independent Senior... The script is just done, so bear with me 1 second. Yes, indeed, we come again here. A big shout out to our 2019 Senior School Top 15 team. They are with us here tonight. Congratulations on being picked on the Bank of Ireland Irish Independent Senior Schools Top 15 team.
Keep it up, lads, keep it up!
Congratulations.
Once! Keep it up, lads, keep it up! 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 Once!
I think I was first introduced to Ryan by Josh Mead when he first came to Leinster. Everything before that, all I ever heard was winning and working hard. And he came in and sort of challenged everything we were doing. And he wanted us to behave in a certain way, train in a certain way, and things just started to fall into place, and the environment got better, the culture got better, the results got better.
Somebody on Twitter suspects, and I don't know their background, whether they're into physio or not, that it may be a broken collarbone for Mick Carney. But, you know. Yeah. How do you decipher this? Is that Leinster have spent 9% down there as against...
I would say the game is broken. That should add up to 100, should it?
Yeah.
30, 62. That's 91, 9.
Yeah.
That's the way the game is broken down. Not amongst time on the pitch.
So Benetton have been 29% in Leinster's 22. Yeah. I hope it was that corner he scored the try last season. I think it was, because I voiced the tries during the week and I was like, it's pretty much identical to that. At least I think it was.
Enjoying Leinster rugby, the first time here in the RDS, and you're very, very welcome, Greg and Kathy, all the way from Montana. And I want to say happy birthday to Rory O'Donnell, who's 12 on Sunday. He's playing at half-time this evening for Old Belvedere under 12s. His son brings in huge Leinster and Ireland fan, and he loves Jack Conan as well. That's great. How about a big cheer for all our half-time minis, everybody? Getting their hearts out there at the minute. Some great rugby going on from Old Belvedere, RFC, but told Portlaoise and Bird doing a great job out there. The official Leinster Supporters Club, the OLSC, is delighted to announce that Fergus McFadden.
I got JK to drop us a 2 or 3 line kind of abridged. I got JK to drop us a WhatsApp of the editorial and really what the thoughts are in studio, just for continuity's sake.
And reveal his Legends t-shirt as well. The OLSC are donating all proceeds from Legends t-shirt sale to the Leinster Rugby charity partners MS Ireland and the Down Syndrome Centre. There will also be a bumper raffle tonight and a chance to win 2 signed Leinster Rugby jerseys as well. That's straight after the match over in the line-out, and Fergus will be over there as well. Lots going on here. Make sure to head over as soon as the match is finished. The line-out bar is just behind the Anglesey stand, and everyone is welcome. Tickets for next week's Guinness Pro 14 game against Glasgow Warriors are on sale now on LeinsterRugby.ie. So getting quick.
We're doing off-tube next Friday, are we? Munster away somewhere.
Are on sale from Tuesday.
Oh yes, Munster against this lot.
So make sure to get on there straight away Tuesday morning, and make sure we have another sold out Aviva Stadium to roar on the boys against Toulouse.
Funnily enough, I shouldn't tell you this, but I think that's only going out on social media because we're showing wall-to-wall US Masters all 4 days live. The Saturday game obviously is going out, but I think that might be live on Facebook and Twitter and then delayed after the Masters finishes. But
a big thank you as well to their clubs and their referees and the minders and drivers and everybody who makes the halftime minis possible. It's a big effort every time. Our 2 Leinster Rugby mascots as well, this evening sponsored by Bank of Ireland. We have Dermot O'Neill from Goran in County Kilkenny and Fionn McConville from Athgarvan in County Kildare. Our 2 minis, or our 2 mascots, had a very important job at the start of the game as they come out with Leinster at the very start.
yeah, so they're on the try, Benetton, succession of opportunities, and then Luke McGrath, who had a good first half, but potentially, yeah, agreeing with the line that Benetton needed to be a little bit more clever and ruthless in the 22. Please welcome back our visitors, Benetton.
Yeah, go keep him up.
Okay, we're all set to go then for the second half at the RDS. A very interesting and important 40 minutes awaits for
You good to go?
Leinster, and more importantly, perhaps for Benetton Rugby, because they lead by 13 points to 6 as Kieran Frawley gets the second half underway. Kieran Frawley in for the injured Noel Reid, remember.
And there are no changes for either team.
And off the Leinster bench also in that first half, Jack Dunn in for the stricken Mick Carney, who went off with what looked like a shoulder or an arm injury. Other than that, no changes to either side at half-time as Barry Daly fends one high in the sky and took it well over his shoulder under pressure from Taviara. Just the one try so far scored early in the game, 13 minutes in, from Luca Bigi. Dominant display from Benetton in terms of possession and territory. Frawley now looks to pick out Tamani.
Accidentally front first.
You could see what the Leinster inside centre Tamani was trying to achieve there. He was trying to inject real pace, which he did, and it was a timing issue just to try and get the ball into his hands. It's the timing of the pass. He picked a nice line, but there was a wall of green jerseys. But it was the only thing really that Leinster could do to try and break down that wall.
Take the cross then, okay, yeah. On the cross, lads, please.
You could argue a little bit more sympathy in the pass, maybe. He doesn't give much away, does he, Leo Cullen?
No, he doesn't. It's been kind of symptomatic of Joe Tamani's season, really, that
you were very good
just not quite on the money.
Well, he picked a good line. It was just the pass came in and hit him on his left shoulder. And it was a difficult one to catch, maybe. A little bit of zip in the ball.
Set.
He has had his injury troubles. Of course, he returned to action in the game away at BT Murrayfield, which Leinster lost a couple of weeks ago, and he was out for a couple of months prior to that.
Okay, hold on.
Not sure what he was trying to achieve with that clearance kick, but
good tackle on the chest. Play on.
Strong counter from Barry Daly. Frawley now to O'Brien. He's got James Lowe in support as ever. Now McGrath.
Play on.
And they've pinched that.
It was the ball to the foot, not the foot to the ball. It was ball to the foot, not foot to the ball.
They do something with it. They're so often very dangerous in these types of situations. Tommaso Allen.
If he sees any sort of a gap, he'll go for it, won't he?
He's so aware of what's going on around him. He's a lovely player to watch. He's having a brilliant season.
As is his scrum half inside, he's had a really good opening half, and he's zipping it away again in the second half.
And here they come now, with plenty of promise and purpose until they turn it over in the contact. Tamani, that's a bright start to the second half. O'Brien, does he run out of pitch? No, he places the ball. Good awareness again, because his feet were very close to touch over on that far side. Daly trying to wriggle free of the clutches of Tommaso Allen. Luke McGrath, the Leinster captain tonight, remember. Kieran Frawley. Tamani now put it through the hands, and Keelan Doris cuts back inside and straightens.
Tackle, 7, move!
And Frawley, has he measured that? So they're up into Benetton territory, inside that 22, Leinster.
But that first carry there from which ultimately ended up in Leinster's number 8, Doris's hands. Benetton for the first time this evening got very narrow in defence, and that's why Leinster probably spotted went out the back door. Again, just the quality of the passing from left to right just wasn't putting the ball in front of the Leinster jersey. And by the time it got to Doris's hands, Benetton reshuffled and
that's what I saw, okay?
But definitely it's the first time tonight that Benetton went narrow defensively.
Right. So I could be wrong, but that's what I saw. Sorry boys, sorry boys.
Luke McGrath just completing his case from that incident over on the other side, far side of the field, but as it is,
back of blue.
Leinster have won it here. Prime position now. He's looking to set up the attack.
Sorry, my whistle was a bit early. I thought they'd stole it. You were perfectly legal, it's not a problem. There's no advantage from the knock on by Green, okay? Sorry, I don't delayed the whistle a bit longer.
What is he, 20, 21 years of age, done getting up 110 kgs, not the easiest, but they got him his full height. Pretty long left arm as well.
Yeah, that's the one that Luke McGrath was contesting with Nigel Owens.
So lovely with his skill for Dunn.
He's the guy with all the points in the leaving cert. 600 or something, isn't it? He's the...
he lands rockets in his spare time.
Theoretical physics.
Good standing, boys, please.
Quite a height into the air. It's a
Good
great lift.
Height, please. Shoulders out, please. Loose edge, Treviso. Benetton, sorry. Crouch. Bind. Set. Hold it there, lads. Keep it square. No.
So Benetton loose head Quaglio.
Yeah, I got
a great push, but the danger there is, did he
we were never square and steady, lads, okay? We were never square and steady.
Nigel Owens isn't suspicious enough to come across this side to keep an eye on him.
He's relying on his assistant referee on this side to see that he step around,
shoulder out,
drive in at that angle.
I don't want to see any running round. We drive square. Crouch. Bind. Set. Keep it up.
This time they do stay square. Now they're coming around from that same side. Quaglio. McGrath under real pressure.
Green, let it go.
They've been told to leave it now. Benetton, they didn't, or at least not quickly enough. Penalty coming. Player was off his feet, continued to play the ball. Frawley just nodded off for a second. O'Brien with the carry. It's there for McGrath. Now what can they manufacture here? Frawley back inside. Jack McGrath. Nothing doing. Back for the penalty.
No, you're off your feet.
Yeah, Benetton unfortunately get
too late. You slowed it all down.
Get very little reward for that super scrum to put Luke McGrath under all sorts of pressure.
Here they come. Oh, that's a massive challenge from Monty Awani on Max Deegan, who was accelerating through into that, towards that try line.
Tackle.
Leinster back on the front foot here with Andrew Porter. They're only a metre short. Can they get the
step back to
first try of the evening for Leinster? The first of the second half too. They're offside. Benetton. Luca Bigi penalised. Arm out from Nigel Owens. Relative shot to nothing, and they get it into the hands of that man James Lowe, and he drives low and he drives hard and he drives over, and Leinster have the first score of the second half, and it's a 19th in Leinster colours for the New Zealander James Lowe.
Like so many occasions all season, the difference between the sides. Up front is Luke McGrath, but out the back James Lowe ultimately renders the green wall of defence useless, because he just barged his way over. He was double teamed and triple teamed in fact, and still barged his way over. You think in the end of the first half how hard Benetton worked on the same try line, but just couldn't get across. And you got a player of Lowe's athleticism and power.
Okay, cheers. Let me know if
makes life that bit easier.
9th try of the season. In all competitions, that is.
Just checking his
half a dozen in this, and he is so clinical, so ruthless, and so powerful in those kind of situations.
But also he scored a try there on the right hand side of the pitch, so he's also hungry for the ball and the opportunity, and it's a nightmare a player of his size coming in. If you're a fringe defender, if you're like a loose forward coming out, or a tight end or loose side, you're just trying to, you're tired and you're just trying to get into position, and as soon as you get into position you look up and you see him tearing at you. It's the ideal mismatch.
When a try you scored, my TMO is checking everything, okay? And he has checked everything, and there is no knock on. So the try is good, okay?
TMO was just having a look at that. The ball was grounded correctly. There was no knock on. He's just the kind of player you just want to watch every week, and we haven't seen a great deal of him because of the conundrum thrown up by the overseas players rule. As I said, this is only his third appearance since that Munster game at Thomond Park.
But certainly
4 months ago.
Part of it was Luke McGrath being injured at times, didn't help. It's a really interesting. I was just at half time, was going down through all the players available to Leinster and all the players who are not available to Leinster. It's going to be some interesting selection against Toulouse.
So no mistake from Kieran Frawley, and he adds the extras, and it's a level game. 48 minutes on the watch of the RDS, 13 points apiece.
Try for Leinster, scored by number 11, James Lowe. Converted by number 22, Kieran Frawley. Leinster 13, Benetton 13.
What's that side going?
Very interesting to see how the dynamic of this game develops for the remainder of this half, because we've been here so many times at the RDS this season
Ball's
where this
available,
Leinster
you're fine.
team
Ball available, play.
have worn teams down. So much on the game here for Benetton tonight, though.
And
got to keep at it.
Alberto Scarbi replacing number 12,
Advantage, green, knock on blue.
A couple of changes coming in for Benetton. Meanwhile,
Still advantage.
changing the back row and a change
Lost
of
blue,
hooker.
leave it, don't touch it.
A change in midfield, rather. Now, here's Tommaso Allen.
Advantage
With
over.
the newly introduced Zarbi, and over the top they go. It's a little bit loose.
Well, I'll tell you the big thing that I've learned in the last couple of minutes is that from a player point of view, Leinster will know that if they get into the Benetton 22, they'll probably score a try. And they also know if Benetton get into their own 22, they may not score a try. And that's a huge, I suppose, emotional strength that you can have. You know that you can weather whatever storm comes your way, because you know defensively you'll hold out. And equally in attack, with the assets that Leinster have, once they get into the Benetton 22, tries will come from them.
Tito Tebaldi has also come in for Duvenega at scrum half, so 3 changes. And it goes to Conor O'Brien.
So the point I'm, I suppose, making is Leinster need to play in the Benetton 22.
Forward pass call here, boys.
Yeah, it was forward to Conor O'Brien, I thought it was.
Pass it forward, lad, sorry. Diolch. Time out. Pass it forward. Can you hear my your scrum? Yeah, pass it forward. Take your time. Time out.
And as we said, Benetton coming into this game
Forward pass.
4 points behind Ulster in 3rd in the conference after Ulster lost in Glasgow last night. Edinburgh have beaten the Scarlets in West Wales. They were 12-0 down. They won the second half 20-0 to win by 20 points to 12. So they move on to 51 points. And ahead of Treviso, were Treviso to lose tonight, but that gives you an indication of just how tight it is. Edinburgh next week away to Ulster. Ulster very much in the hunt in Conference A.
Let's go, boys!
The only thing we can say with any real certainty is that Leinster rather have a home semi-final, and we've known that for 3 weeks or 4 weeks now.
Crouch. Bind. Set. Hold it there, lads. Give a bind up. In the middle, please.
So when it goes from Tebaldi. Halafihi. And again he does well. He does really well. And here come Benetton in the shape of Sebastian Negri. Tebaldi. Alberto Scarba had to reach up to touch that.
Hands away, record.
Andrew Porter is the player who's got his hands on it. And he withdraws them after the advice from Nigel Owens. And this is where they've got to box clever and be a little bit more efficient and clinical. Now they go in behind. Challenge comes in from Max Deegan on the shoulder. Wasn't high on Marco Zanon. Abraham Stein, he's carried well tonight. Don't really think Alberto Zarbi was expecting that. Leinster for now, keeping Benetton at arm's length on the threshold of their own 22. Can they find a little bit of incision?
But they're not sucking in any blue jerseys. they're going through phases, but they're not really questioning any tacklers.
Tabayaro, can he change that?
Lost
Max
now,
Deegan just sniffing out that turnover. He wasn't a million miles away. Now they go to Rizzioni, tackled by Jack McGrath, and they're comfortable at this moment in time, Leinster defensively here. Someone's lost a boot and it's been discarded downfield. Keelan Doris this time with the challenge, and they've made a few metres here now. Scott Penny was over it on that occasion, didn't quite get his hands on it.
It's off blue. Hands away!
It's that man Halafihi again.
Hughes.
They're not really trying to pick the lock of this Leinster defence, they're rather going with a sledgehammer approach, and so far it's not working.
Release! Release!
Abraham Stein carries, and Leinster told to release it. Now they try and get that little latch on.
No release.
No, he didn't release. That's a penalty.
Out goes the arm of Nigel Owens. Is there something more potentially for Tommaso Wallen? Had a little bit of a snipe on his own, and now to Baldi. Plenty of resources out to that right-hand side. Stein, good carry again to Baldi. Quicker service. They're in here, and they get their try. And it's another of the players who scored in the game that they won here last season. We've already had a try in the first half from Luca Bigi, and now we've had a second for Federico Russa.
Let's go, boys!
And they had to work so hard to get there. They were patient and purposeful, and with the advantage in the end, the big second row gets over.
This is the break, Halafihi off the base of the scrum. I think this is where Benetton need to improve. This next breakdown, what they do with this ball is what they were struggling with, and then they were happy to keep building and keep building. It seems that the Benetton number 8 is the one player on the pitch for them who can keep and consistently get yards. Apart from that, when they leave one man on their own, the ball carrier is vulnerable. Anytime they latch on to him, he has some hope. But great patience building up the phases for Benetton, and a pretty good defence right up towards the end.
Thank you.
So Federico Russa.
Okay, Thomas.
He was very useful in the Six Nations.
It was he who caught the ball at the tail, the line-out that led to the try. Superb fielding of the ball at the tail. Lovely try from him too.
And he's bang-in try scoring form for a second row. That's now 4 tries in his last 5 games in this competition. Check those numbers for a second row any day of the week, and Benetton are back in front.
It's Leinster 13, Benetton 20.
They continue to ask big questions of this Leinster team.
Yeah, I know. You said left, and I went left. Sorry, are you going left this time? Oh, I'm going right this time. So sorry, it was my mistake.
Our replacements for Benetton, number 16,
when you're ready.
Tomas Balaval, replacing, my apologies, number 17, Derek Apia, replacing number 1, Nicola Quaglio, and number 18, Simone Ferrari, replacing number 3, Marco Riccioni. And front row replacing for Leinster, number 16, Brian Byrne, replacing number 2, James Tracy. Number 17, Peter Dooley, replacing number 1, Jack McGrath.
So
and
4 changes.
Replacing number 3,
Total.
Away!
Ball change in the prop department for both sides. Brian Byrne and Peter Dooley in.
Nothing wrong on the ball.
Great defensive read from the Benetton second row, and try scorer Russa.
Daly now endeavouring to get away from Apia. Byrne. Brian, that is. And his brother Ed still on the bench. Oh, that's good from Deegan. And Deegan's away here, and as always he's got Luke McGrath on his shoulder. Thought he might just pop the offload away. Frawley now to O'Brien, in behind Tamani. What a pickup that is from Fergus McFadden. Can he find a way through? Stopped by Hayward. Taken on instead now by Michael Bent. Tight head prop replacement for Leinster as they look to hit back again, having fallen behind 2 tries to 1, 20 points to 13. Heading towards the hour mark in the final quarter, and this one still very much in the balance. Pride finding their voice. They've been roused into supporting their team, and we're back up into that Benetton 22. McGrath, O'Brien, low, and back inside Tommaso Allen. And they'll run it clear here from fullback if they can from Jaden Hayward.
Back. Hughes!
Every time Lowe gets it, you just expect something to happen, and it almost did again.
Ball is out,
didn't have any support on his inside shoulder.
I just can't believe how patient referees are when they say use. I counted 7 seconds. It's supposed to be 3.
Here's Barry Daly. He thought about popping that off to Byrne, who was coming through on a good support line. Frawley.
Not held, not held.
Deegan, and he wasn't
Move
held.
Green.
Sarby with a challenge. Game's just picking up a notch now. And still Leinster on the attack. Here they come with big Michael Bent. Penny, he got it away. McGrath, now low, Chamani. A little bit of creativity injected into proceedings there, principally from James Lowe again.
Oh, he was competing fairly.
Doris.
It's a tackle, Green, release please.
McGrath assessing the options. Here they come again now in the shape of Scott Fardy. No, that's loose, and it's been picked up instead by Tibaldi. And the siege has been lifted. That's a big threat, a continuous threat repelled by Benetton again. A crucial time in the game when they were very much all hands to the pump.
And I love when they get the turnover onto the hook post, they're still looking to try and counter and run out.
Another change in the second row for the Italians.
Tackles made, Leinster 172, Benetton 112. 172 is a monster amount of tackles.
Yeah. You'd normally expect that stat to be the other way around here.
Absolutely, and you think that the defence Munster put in last weekend in Europe, 231 tackles, which is off the charts.
Yeah, time is off. Yeah, time is off.
17 missed tackles from Leinster.
Yeah, don't worry, you take your time. I'm sure you're right first. It's more important.
Certainly make it an interesting last quarter with the scoreboard the way it is. And Benetton's confidence took a real soar there with that try from the second row. So
time on then, please.
We're in for a lovely last quarter.
What an absolute momentum charge it would be if they could come here and get the win and then go to Munster next week, and in the knowledge that they've got Zebra in the final game. That's really good from Jack Dunn.
Backwards, always backwards.
A little bit loose again, but it's gone backwards. Now Daly and Lowe.
Move, Green, release, move.
Eventually put to ground.
Good effort, and he's gone.
Zarbi was testing the patience of Nigel Owens. Good effort, he says. He got away just in time. That's been ripped clear as Michael Bent carried into contact. Benetton ball.
Stay, Green, stay.
Tommaso Allen pumps one down into that 22, and off in retreat is Lowe.
All on.
Almost charged down or blocked down, and it's a little bit scrappy at times, but it's only making it all the more interesting if anything. But it's a Leinster penalty here.
On the ground.
It's one of those quirky laws.
Went to the squeeze ball afterwards, prevented a turnover.
When you kick the ball and if there's a half block down as it was, there's no offside line, which means that all your effort to break in just to get up there, make the half block, isn't rewarded because it becomes a live ball, and Leinster made the most of it. Nice play from Tommaso Allen though. When they did get that ultimate turnover, he said no, we're going to go and we want to play the game in their 22, but ultimately didn't get the reward.
Frawley's got great distance out of that right boot.
Anything he's tidying up there?
There's another another player who's been used rather sparingly since that game at Thomond Park over Christmas time, Kieran Frawley, who got his first taste of the Munster-Leinster derby that night, played the last 20-25 minutes for Johnny Sexton. Haven't seen too much of him since.
Flat.
Very effective earlier in the season. A couple of really stellar performances. Now here come Leinster again into the final quarter.
You fell the wrong side, advantage.
Penalty count is rising.
Mark me back, Edwin, okay? Please. Still advantage.
Frawley now. Thought he might get that back from Daly, who's been lively tonight with ball in hand. Byrne. No way through thanks to Abraham Steen, the open side for Benetton, who's been pretty effective tonight. No advantage coming.
Tackler, wrong side. Slowed it down.
An interesting call.
Not far back, is it?
7 points in it. 18 minutes to go.
Yeah, jump in. Tackler, wrong side. Slow it all down away, please.
So it's going into the corner here from Kieran Frawley. Yeah, that's not a good picture presented to the referee from Sebastian Negri at all. So what's the play here?
Stay 10, Thomas.
Brian Byrne in conversation with Peter Dooley.
2 meters. Hey,
and here they
2
are.
meters. Good.
Position A1. Good take again from Deegan.
Sam! Get out.
And here they go. And Brian Byrne's very close there, and Leinster have the try.
On the line try is good.
And Brian Byrne has another try to his credit this season. Well, they worked it well, they got momentum. It's 2 tries apiece, and very shortly it could be 20 points apiece on the scoreboard again. And this is a fascinating contest.
It sure is. And Benetton, for the first time in the game, are looking a little bit flat and a little bit tired, and a little bit fatigued for all the work they put in. Ultimately, the Leinster line-up maul was just too strong, but a total difference in attitude and execution from the defenders, in this case Benetton, from the earlier part of the game where they actually pushed Leinster back a number of times. They're looking tired, and Leinster are making the most of it.
Thank you.
Well, they haven't managed to win on Irish soil this season, Benetton, but they did manage a draw up in Ulster at Kingspan Stadium. And if Kieran Frawley can slot this, it's parity on the scoreboard again. This one a little bit more tricky. Now, has he brought it round enough? It's coming from right to left, just in time, and it sneaks in, and it sneaks over. 20 points apiece, we've got 15 minutes left. Brian Byrne with a try, and the conversion from Kieran Frawley.
Try for Leinster, scored by number 16, Brian Byrne. Converted by number 22, Kieran Frawley.
Hang on, Thomas.
Leinster 20, Benetton 20.
He's been prolific this season. And it all started on match night 1, if memory serves, that Friday night in round 1 at the Arms Park in Cardiff when he came off the bench. Brian Byrne had scored 2 tries to win the game.
I am standing when you pass it forward. Yeah, time out.
Was he arguing his case?
Number 6, Sebastian.
You're having a laugh. Everybody knew that, even the Leinster supporters would agree.
Or was he just saying, what have I just done there?
Oh, I'm not familiar with that law. Sorry, you can't pass the ball forward. Sorry.
That's outside we are, boys. Outside. Scrum is outside, okay?
15 minutes to go. Very, very difficult to call which way this one's going to go.
Okay.
Yeah, but certainly when they got that turnover on the Leinster 10-metre line some time ago, Allen, the out half, definitely went for territory. So maybe he's thinking now about just winning the game. Obviously, which he is to begin with. But the manner in which he wants to win the game might change from the first half to now. But his pack have tired. I know they brought in the bench, few bench players, but they're definitely tired in that line-up. More defence showed a lot of that.
Hold it there. Keep it up, lads. Keep straight there.
So when it goes from Tibaldi, they're under pressure here, Benetton. They get the ball away and they get moving with Zarbi.
It's a tackle, boys.
He's quickly shepherded backwards and outside that 22. To Tibaldi again.
Not a problem.
Further switch in the back row. Pettinelli is in for Sebastian Negri.
No tackle, no tackle.
Queuing up again. And it is Pettinelli involved. Tibaldi, quicker service to Stein, and they almost got the offloads. There was two players in support on the inside. Instead it goes into the arms of Scott Penny. Keelan Doris. Benetton player in the central position, but he was removed just in time. Luke McGrath. Frawley to Mani.
Tackle, release!
Scott Fardy this time.
Not out.
McGrath once more. Frawley takes the ball to the line. And it pops up for McGrath low.
Again, they're running out of defenders here on the left-hand side if Leinster keep coming this way.
No, you can't move when you're holding it. He's holding it.
Daly. Michael Bent again.
Release now.
James Lowe decides to put his boot to it. Hayward uses his boot to control it. Now heads up Leinster defence. There's good hands. Tommaso Allen now. Open country in behind, and Barry Daly off in retreat.
There's a pretty poor Benetton chase, so there is certainly a counter on.
Daly made ground almost up to that 10-metre line. Keelan Doris, both he and Max Deegan have played well tonight. Here's Deegan again, always available.
Release, please. Stay there. Out. No.
McGrath asks the question of the Benetton fullback. Doesn't come out with the answer. Iwani in there for the dig out. That was an important little tap tackle because Pettinelli was showing good pace off the line. Frederica Rusa did well just to keep that in field, and they kept it alive well. Multi Iwani again.
Release, blue.
He's tackled by Peter Dooley. Ball in play here for a very, very long passage of time. Neither side really able to do anything with it when they've had it. Touch judge's flag is in here. He spotted something that maybe Nigel Owen hasn't.
Green, around the neck.
It's a high challenge, I think.
Advantage around the neck roll green.
It's a neck roll.
Advantage penalty.
Leinster's advantage. And it's loose from O'Brien, but they have the advantage, so it will matter little.
No advantage.
It seemed the assistant referee
neck roll.
indicated that to Nigel Owens.
19. Penalty only.
That picture tells its own story, doesn't it?
Yeah. And And it is
19
penalty only.
green. Neck roll around the neck.
It's against Marco Laceroni.
What do you say here? It's a penalty, yes.
20 points apiece.
Time is out. Yeah.
Kieran Froley's just chatting with his captain, Luke McGrath. Scott Forty is in there to lend his opinion and his vast experience.
As a kicker.
As to where it should go. I presume it's going to go in the corner. He won't...
I'll have a go there. So it's Scott Fardy. He can do everything else. Maybe he's another John Eales.
We've seen, again, to beat the drum about Leinster's experience and their game management, but here we are inside the final 10 minutes, and this goes in around the edge of the 22, use that line out maul. And
okay, I need I've got a foul play against the green, which is quite obvious to everybody. I also have a call from my TMO to check potential foul play by 14 blue just before that, so I'm going to have a look at what it is and I'll let you know what's happening, okay? Okay, so put it up for me, please.
Okay, so potentially the neck roll came about after Fergus McFadden had come in, and that's what we're going to check.
Potential foul play before that neck roll, please. Nothing on the screen yet, Simon.
Nigel, here it comes. Does blue 14's shoulder hit the head of his opponent?
This is entirely down to interpretation now. Okay, is it a fair shot on the shoulder to shoulder, or is there a contact with the head to begin with?
Is that just a genuine attempt to clear out, Simon? It's a bit careless and it catches the head, so I'm gonna
Nigel, you're correct, but he does make contact with the head.
Yeah, okay, but it's not reckless and intentional, so what I will do, it's just a mistiming of foul play, so I will that was the first foul play, so the penalty will be against blue. Sorry, penalty against green, and then I will reverse it then for the penalty against blue on green, because they're both just penalties for me. So I stick with the original green penalty. Is that correct? The first penalty against blue, and then penalty against green. So I will stick with the original penalty against green because it's a penalty only on the both I'm seeing. Is that correct?
It's a timeline issue he's making. The first penalty was the Leinster.
No, nothing to add, Nigel.
Benetton. So I'm going to leave it stand because that's the order, the chronological order it all came in.
Oh, yeah.
A bit confusing though when you went through it step by step.
I'll tell you what I have, lads, is
I still have no idea.
I have a clear out by 14, which is just unlucky timing, carelessness. He makes contact with the head, but it's a penalty only, okay? By your 14 blue. And then, so that would be the first penalty. Okay, and then the penalty then is against green for the neck roll. Because the both are the same, I'm going to go reversing the decision, so I'm sticking with what I just decided there, which is a penalty 2 blue. Okay? Yeah, because the both are just penalties, and you're the last offence, so it's reversed.
Nothing more against Fergus McFadden, and I think that's absolutely fair. I don't think there's a lot in that clear out, do you?
You make contact with the head, but it was just careless and unlucky rather than any willful foul.
Unlucky, yeah.
So
careless, I don't think it's unlucky. How can you be unlucky?
Second against them.
I think it's careless, but certainly not unlucky.
Just be careful when you clear out, okay?
It wasn't as if Laceroni moved, or Laceroni was minding his own business, so it wasn't unlucky, but certainly was careless. Like when McFadden went in, Laceroni wasn't doing anything. He was in a perfectly sensible, sane position, and he didn't move in any shape or form.
Leave his legs! Leave his legs, 20!
We're in danger of conceding another penalty here because Pinelli's got to be careful. He's been reprimanded by Nigel Owens. The ball is there with Luke McGrath. Froley, that's clever. Oh, Froley straight through! And is that the decisive moment in the game?
And the decisive moment in the game came from Tomani, I think, who ran a cracking line and passed a blind ball out of nowhere. And the entire Benetton defence, I'd say the entire RDS was tricked by it. And Frawley ran in through a massive gap. With the hands from Tomani, I think it was, coming in. No, it wasn't. It was O'Brien coming in with Tomani outside him. Quality passing.
And that incisiveness and that ruthlessness and that little bit of craft and guile in the red zone in the 22 that we've been talking about, that's been at times lacking for Benetton, is not lacking in Leinster's attack play rather on that occasion. And crucially, they find a big moment inside the final 10 minutes here.
Tomani ran was the same when he ran it in the first half as well. A huge decoy, fixed the inside defenders, and it was the softest of hands from O'Brien to Frawley, who ran a wraparound, and there was just a hole that he ran through, and there was no one there. Not only was there no one there was no one sweeping back either to defend him. Lovely play from Leinster. But the timing of all that was perfect.
Stay blue!
Well, is there anything left in the tank here for Benetton? These are big moments, still very much in this, and they need to find a score.
Play on, let the ball go, got to his feet, play on.
Baldi, as they look to get moving again. Losing bonus point territory at this point, but they've been so good in the game, they'll want to take more than that into the game against Munster next week. Baldi, nobody to
offside, Leinster.
Deegan was first up, Scott Penny as well. Tommaso Allen gets his pass away to Pettinelli.
Stay out.
Tackles keep coming in from Leinster. Good hands. It's that man again. He's been so difficult to pin down.
Back.
Halafihi. Almost every time he's carried in that kind of position, he makes a few meters. Double figures in terms of Fia's play. Can they execute?
He's knocked offside because the scrum half delayed the pass. Hughes. No dummies.
3 tries to 2 in favour of the defending champions here at the RDS, and it's been that level of execution which has got Leinster into this match-winning position. No way through just yet.
All over that.
Just the service from scrum half has slowed down since the substitution came in, and that's a definite disadvantage for Benetton at this stage.
Duvenega was very lively, very effective. Pettinelli again is carried well. Shoveled on by Tapaldi again. Is there any daylight in that defence?
Stay down or go back.
Yara couldn't find any on that occasion. Leinster numbering up on the outside. Back they come against the green with Stein again. Apia was hit pretty hard by 2 Leinster players.
No, still in the hands. Play.
Tabaldi to Halafihi again. And again, it's a good carry. They need to get some impetus off that. Pettinelli again. And they go to the try score, Federico Musa. As Max Deegan perilously close to conceding a penalty. Oh, they might be through here. Now, can they get the ball down? Has that been held up? It's Apia.
Well, if you look at where Nigel Owens went, he found a brilliant position. Look at him there on right knee. As soon as Benetton crossed the line, he went flying around to make sure he could see. Look where he is initially, Nigel Owens that is. Look how hard he works to get around. He
just got numbers around Keelan Doris and Scott Fardy. Jack Dunn coming in as well. As you say, Nigel Owens. Good position.
There's your preordained front row coming into the back row for Scott Penny. Good shift from Scott Penny.
Yeah, yet again. He's done his case absolutely no harm whatsoever. Under 20s Grand Slam winner, of course, now.
Yes. You love it, don't you?
To have Josh Van Der Fleer, Dan Levy, Sean O'Brien ahead of him, amongst others.
We've been excellent all the game in the scrum, so we just keep the standard, okay? Same with you. We've been excellent in the scrums all game, so we keep the standard. We've been excellent in the scrums all game, so we keep the standard.
It seems every time the Benetton number 8, Hannah Feehy, gets on the ball, he gives them that direction. Certainly Tibaldi, who's come on at scrum half, has a different way of distributing the ball than the original starter to Vin Aggie.
5 on the offside line, Lance, please.
But really good play from Benetton. Much more direct.
Keep it straight, okay? Keep out. Time
Tony
on.
Arizzi, who's seen plenty of game time of late, is in. He's in for Marco Zano.
Crouch!
Now can they just pull something out of the fire here?
Bind! Set! Hold it there!
So we have something off the training paddock up the sleeve here.
Number 8 there this time wasn't lining up to pick. He went down scrummaging with full
Not steady, lads.
Full 8 scrummaging. All the previous scrums that they had, he was locked, ready to launch himself.
Okay. No pre-engage, please. Keep the space. Okay, lads. Keep straight. Hips square, shoulder out. Okay, lads.
These are hugely important moments for Benetton in terms of their quest for a playoff place.
Keep the pressure off. Crouch. Bind. Set. Hold it there. Keep it up, lads. Keep it up.
It's in from Tibaldi. They have to work hard to get it back, but they've done it. And look who pops up with another good carry. Alafihi had to work hard to get down there and get any momentum off the base, which was extremely well played. Now, that's another very strong carry, and they're 3 or 4 metres short now. All hands to the pump for Leinster in defence, and
lost now, Blue. Lost now.
Benetton to convert. They want to get anything from this game. Rusa. They're quickly upon it. Alafihi again.
Back.
Tabayara waits. Plenty of big ball carriers in there. Apia is one of those.
Leinster quite narrow defensively out on the left-hand side.
And they keep it in for now, at least at close quarters, and they take it on with Stain.
Too close in.
Tabayara there in support. Tibaldi. That was high and it was risky, but it was a good collect from Antonio Rizzi. He's driven back.
Stay down.
Tibaldi, this is quicker now. Oh, there's space on the outside potentially for Tabayara if he can get away from Daly. Daly got enough of a shot on him to bring him to ground and halt any momentum. Sarbi, and he's swallowed up by Fardy.
Hands away!
Tibaldi still there for the Benetton scrum half though. Tackle come in from Max Deegan, back on the inside. Monty Awani, tackled by Frawley. Is he to be the match winner? Having scored that try and converted it, he comes up with a big tackle in defence. 79 minutes just approaching, 15 phases. It's been a valiant effort from Benetton, but they need a little bit of impetus. They need to find something here.
Cheers.
Stain again.
The tackle now, release.
Exhausting stuff from the Italians. There's quite a bit of fatigue in those legs out there from quite a few of their players. Tibaldi. Apia, tackled by Tomani.
Reload, Green,
That's not
reload.
the first time he flew up Tomani and take
Sure,
man
you
and
stay,
ball.
keep
He's
your
done it
feet.
several times tonight. Very, very important to slow down that attack.
Tibaldi again gets it away to Ritchie.
Martel.
Just juggled with it for a second, thought he might lose it forward, then that would have been game over. Any mistake now and the game is up for Benetton. They'll have to make do with a losing bonus point. They want more than that. Well, they move it wide. Alafini with very, very little pitch to work in at all. His feet were in touch, but he managed to get the ball away just in time. The assistant referee was right there.
Move!
25 phases. We've seen Leinster do this to sides here this season and come up with a big score. I think back to the Connacht game here, but can Benetton do it? Decibel level increases. It's a brilliant defensive effort against Monty Iwani and others. That's a little bit quicker from Tibaldi, but they need to prise open this rear guard. Through the hands they go. Tavayara still going. Can he get through? Oh, goodness me, that's sensational. That is absolutely exquisite from Ratuva Tavayaro on the wide outside. 81 minutes on the watch, and Benetton have absolutely pulled this out of the fire. Brilliant finish. 4th try of the season, and that could have huge implications in their campaign at the end of tonight.
A heroic defensive display for something like 25-30 phases from Leinster, and it was a one-on-one in the end, and what hunger he showed and power to get past the first defender. I think it was Luke McGrath, and beyond that then how he stole yards here. He was surrounded, kept on going, he looked for the offload, and he kept on powering. Nigel Owens sees there was a slight little bit of a blocking run of sorts. He's happy enough with it, but
I'm speaking to my team or my officials. Go back behind the line. Go back behind the line, please. Behind the line, please. Thank you.
You can see what we just picked up on the screen there. There's a slight little blocking run, but Nigel Owens made his decision. He's happy with it. Play on. A wonderful score for Benetton. You can't deny he wasn't richly reserved.
I'm not seeing anything. I don't see a take-up on myself, and I don't think the defender was...
Yeah, we've a couple of angles. We're going to put it on the screen.
Okay.
No, we're just going to check it anyway, and all of this is just adding to the tension, because the conversion to come, if they stick with the decision, is a huge moment in Benetton's season.
Now here's the block.
Okay.
But that didn't affect the original defender.
Antonio Rizzi it was. Just watch him with 22 here.
I think it's James Lowe. He ultimately blocks. There's Lowe. Steps in, hits Lowe. Now the question is, if he didn't hit him...
Yeah, so 4 is the one we're looking at, isn't it?
Yeah, the question I suppose is, look how close Lowe gets. Would he have got into a better position to make that secondary challenge?
Yeah, I appreciate that, but the only guy who's going to be making that tackle is you, and you just slipped, so nobody's taking you out. So I've checked with all my team, and we're happy that that has no effect on the try being scored, so the try is going to start. If it had taken you out, totally different, but you just slipped, so we're going to allow the try, okay?
Well, the try stands.
I think James Lowe would have, if he wasn't blocked there, but the question is, was it an illegal block in the first place? I don't think it was an illegal block, but if he wasn't blocked, I think he would have come around. This is a tough one. This isn't an easy